Welcome back, Charles. Unfortunately, today is not a Money McManus Monday. It is a Matt
No,
LaFleur
the weather made that dude.
Monday.
The weather made that dude human. That's for sure. The magical ride was over. It does hurt. Congratulations to the Lions. They played well.
When
A
you
win's
play
a win.
mistake-free football in that kind of weather condition, you don't turn it over, you don't have penalties, and you
Yeah.
don't drop a fucking pass. Not one pass was dropped. If anything you can say about that game, Detroit's hands team, whoever's teaching these guys to catch the ball, regardless of how many yards they got,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
A
Well,
plus.
it could have even bet that they were getting a better delivered ball. And I'm not against saying that. Obviously, our quarterback wasn't as healthy as theirs.
We can just say that Goff throws a softball.
There's that too. Yeah, absolutely.
If we want to go that way.
Here's exactly how I'm looking at this Packer game. Okay, we gave them 7. We left
That's
10
true.
on the field.
We did give them 7.
We gave them 7. We left 10 on the field, and we gave them 2 fourth-down touchdowns in the red zone. So let's pretend we played defense on those 2 fourth downs. 14 points gone. Jordan Love doesn't make that stupid ass throw. 7 points gone. There's 21 points. How many points did the actual fucking offense score in that scenario?
If you just by looking at the yards, you could tell that it was field position.
Over 400 yards for the Green Bay Packers offense.
They had-
I'm not even going to go over the splits with you, bro, because we won them all other
Right,
than the
it
turnover
doesn't-
margin.
It doesn't matter. Like the game came down to Detroit.
We got rammed.
Field. Yeah, Detroit flipped the field. Green Bay had to go on an average 80 yards for a touchdown. I believe Detroit's average is like 55, 60 yards for a touchdown.
Yep, special teams was better by them. But this was not a dominant win by the Detroit Lions. And in fact, one of my key factors of the game we discussed was keeping the Lions under 30 points. We kept them under 25. So this magical, fantastic, but the weather, no. This was Green Bay's defense. The only thing that the Lions really could do well was run the ball. And it's the one thing that we can't let them do well is because then Goff feeds off that play action. And that's exactly what happened. Other than that amazing route by Amon-Ra St. Brown, because Nixon as a DB is ass. He should literally just be punt and kick return. Obviously, we don't have anyone else on the practice squad because it's a big game, and guess who's hurt? Magically, here we are again.
I'm really upset that the trade deadline's creeping up here, and
Literally tomorrow.
We're not hearing any rumors that Green Bay's going after a DB, or they're not trying to get any depth, maybe for the D line or even a linebacker. Anybody.
We don't want to mortgage our future.
There's not mortgaging.
If you're sitting in, if you're
players every year, and they don't pay anything.
let's be realistic here. Sitting in the front office, do you see this team ironing out the mistakes to make it to and win a Super Bowl?
I believe the NFC is wide open this year. Yeah, I see them being the front runner. No, a lot of things are going to have to go their way. A lot of things are going to have to happen this season.
Because we're still a young team making.
How do you put this in perspective? I know you're going to agree with me when I say it the way that I want to say it.
I can put it.
Their window is very wide open.
Yeah,
as other teams, it is a very.
The Bills this year are the Packers last year. The Packers weren't supposed to do anything. There isn't even a window for the Packers. In fact, the way this conversation is even being dictated right now is because of how we found out about the window last year. This Green Bay Packers team came crashing through that window like the fucking Kool-Aid man and went, it ain't going to be closed for a minute. And I believe that's what you were getting at.
Well, they knew they had a window. They just didn't know how big the door was going to be. Well, they had to, because they knew they were going to sign him to a big deal, so they knew what they had.
I don't know. As optimistic as I was, bro, as optimistic as I was, and as bullheaded as I was just as a Packer fan, deep down inside, I didn't know. I wanted it to be true. There's a historical side to it when you bring in the equality factor, just the fact that we could hit back-to-back on quarterbacks. I want it to be true. But I didn't know.
No.
And the first 6 weeks, it was a very lonely hill. The first 6 weeks of last season,
There's a wild stat about Jordan Love, too. I believe it's third down interceptions.
He's the worst quarterback under the blitz right now.
Yeah, I know you don't like Brady that much, but Brady made a really good point. He said exactly what you said. He said that these are second year, third year guy mistakes. He goes, that guy, he knows he should have ate the ball, but he's trying to always make a play. And that's what rookies do. That's what second year players do. They think
Yeah,
they have to
yeah,
make a play.
yeah. And that's something that I had planned on harping on, like terribly on this show. We got a peek into our future last year as a Packer fan, and we need to not be greedy as Packer fans moving forward and trust the process. Now, that might put a bad taste in your mouth if you're familiar with the Philadelphia 76ers situation, but this isn't Philadelphia, this is Green Bay. Okay? And I trust this process. I am damn glad we got a peek into the window. We're 6-3 football team. We've got the Bears coming up out of the bye week, who might very well fire their head coach after that game. Like, and we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Can we talk about one thing that happened in the Bears game?
Did
you see
DJ Moore leaving the field?
Before the ball was even thrown.
He looked like he was tackled. Come on.
He got hurt on that play and he checked himself out of the game. But even if you watch the sidelines, one of the coaches is like, he's got his hands up and you're like, bro, what the fuck are you doing in the field?
It did look something like a hammy.
Yeah.
Just quick
glance.
Go
sit down, yeah.
It looked like a hammy. Did
But
he
still,
play the rest of the game?
Most guys just sit down. Yeah, I think he came back in.
Maybe it was just me scared.
It's a weird thing for an athlete to do, that's all.
No, I don't do it.
Except for Anthony Richardson.
Unless you're living in a world where, we will talk about this tomorrow. But hey, man, the guy he wanted to be throwing him the ball, who was,
they all wanted this.
And we will talk about this a lot tomorrow. But it's about.
We can talk about it in a little while because
it's a development league, right? And people forget that. And you got Mel Kiper out there screaming about how people aren't giving quarterbacks the time. And yes, you're right. Terrible organizations don't. But good organizations, great organizations, they ride this wave. And I'd like to remind many people, and we'll go through this next week also, because I don't have the stats right in front of me. But we're going to go over these all-time great quarterbacks, their first handful of years in the NFL.
They're terrible.
Right? Yeah. Peyton Manning. Hell, Aaron Rodgers didn't even become Aaron Rodgers until like year 4, bro. People were screaming about the fact that we let Brett Favre go 3 years into Aaron Rodgers' career. Super Bowl, bro.
I did not agree with you the other day when we had this debate over Arizona's defense being top 10 defense, but that's a top 5 defense. It's like I didn't realize they were going to get that kind of pressure.
Much better than people realize. Yeah,
they definitely got a lot of pressure.
I've been tooting the horn, dude, since a healthy Kyler Murray. That's the difference, bro. It's the energy. It's the electricity. It's why Jacobs and McKinney came to Green Bay, right? And you have a winning culture. We just lost to the Lions, and yeah, that sucks, but we lost. They didn't, like last year, they came in and beat our ass, bro.
That might be the other part of the thing that we don't understand either. Packers literally had Elton Jenkins out there at center.
We had our center missing.
I don't even know if he had ever even played center before in an NFL game.
We had in terrible weather.
Yeah, the worst possible conditions.
We had our best cover DB out, Alexander. We had our standout rookie safety, Williams. He's been out for a couple of games. We feel these misses. These are people who were getting into those gaps, those holes, and stopping shit. And we're still 6-3, and we're into a bye coming up.
I hope they're coming back out of the bye for sure.
We've got an extended stretch bye. I believe that Bears game is a Sunday game.
Because if you think about it, the Bears and the Minnesota game are way more important. You don't want to go 0-3 or 0-4 in the division. It's going to be rough. Not as of right now.
I agree with you. Being 0 in the division sucks, but it's so early in the season still. Dude, last year, Detroit coming in and beating our ass like that was a major turning point for this team. And maybe it is again. Until I see otherwise, it's...
Not only are you back, you're 0-2 into the division, you're 0-2 versus teams that you have to hope they lose now, which Minnesota has like the easiest friggin' schedule in the NFL going the rest of the way. That's probably why a lot of people believe that them and Green Bay are going to be fighting for that wild card spot over Detroit's being the divisional favorite, but Detroit can hit a wall at some point too. You're not going to scoot by how many games only throwing the ball for 130, 140, 150 yards. It's just not going to happen.
Listen, A win's a win. That's what I would be
It
saying
is,
if I
but
was
man,
Detroit right
if
now.
I was
Because
Detroit, I'd be
your
like,
offense managed 3 fucking points.
you guys got lucky that you didn't.
That's,
fucking
I mean,
I mean,
you
like,
had 2 very stoppable 4th down plays that
yeah,
occurred in the red zone. Very stoppable. It's a young
it's.
team,
I
and they
mean,
made young team mistakes.
we can be honest. That Detroit offensive line, you cannot have the best offensive line in the NFL, and that many 4th-and-1 situations and expect to stop them that many times. They did
Especially
stop them
with
twice,
right,
but you can't just.
especially with Gibbs
Yeah,
and Montgomery.
yeah, Green Bay put themselves
But I
in that
believe
by
they're trying to call
allowing.
themselves Sonic and Knuckles. So
Okay,
good for them.
whatever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
get it. It's just weird.
Has nothing to do with Detroit though, so it's weird, right?
Yeah,
But
that's weird.
whatever. No, but we do. We've got the Bears coming up, and then after that, we've got the 49ers at home, and then Miami at home. And the Miami at home game is a Monday night game. I think we're right where worst case scenario going into our bye week. What did we think we would be? 6-3.
I said 6-3. I think
6-3.
so.
That's exactly what we said. Worst case scenario, we're on track to be in the playoffs. Worst case scenario going into our bye week, we're 6-3.
I think our best case scenario was 7-2, so we're
Was
not. It
7 and
wasn't
2.
that bad.
So we're not. We didn't find a win out of the 3 I thought we would.
This isn't a, oh my God, close the door. It's time to rack the season.
Hell no.
The Bears are about one more game. If they lose to the Packers, they're probably going to
well.
shut the doors on them.
So we've got the Bears coming up, and do we expect to destroy another Bears head coach at this point? We're assuming that with everything that's happened to the Bears, if they lose to the Packers at home,
It's almost like
we
team has
expect
lost
him to
a
be
lot
fired.
of confidence.
It speaks about the veteran leadership they brought into their locker room.
Right. Well, the lack of with Keenan Allen, all these guys they brought in, that they just don't seem to have that one player with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And they're probably kicking themselves. They let Montgomery. I was talking to my coworker. He said, "Yeah, it's a good thing we let that guy go." Yeah, I agree. One of the best running backs in the NFL. Sucks for you.
Behind it, wow. Would he be this person?
I don't know. When he was in Chicago, I believe he had over 1,000 yards as well.
Marshawn Lattimore. Man, if we could pick up Marshawn Lattimore.
There's a lot of things that I just wish that they would fix. Can we be honest? Let's break down this. I wanted to bring this up
We
with you.
have
Really,
the money to bring in.
the money.
And we fully expect to see Calais Campbell or Zadarius Smith next time we play the Lions.
But here's the thing, Charles. You brought it up in our group chat.
Yeah.
Positional assignments. You're an offensive tackle. Your assignment is to force the guy from the outside, force him inside when you do a run play. You want to create that V where the running back has a gap to shoot, go in the middle. Every single time this rookie, he was offsides like 3 out of the 7 plays he was in there. Every time I watched him, he took a step back. He was offsides on almost every single play. He looked like the guy for the Kansas City Chiefs that was taken off before the snap every single friggin' time.
Yeah.
At what point do we start calling out the coaching staff for this? And I'm not talking about Matt LaFleur. I'm talking about the offensive line coach.
Oh, I truly do believe there will be some significant staff changes in Green Bay's future offseason. I do.
I'm not saying to fire these guys right now, but it's just at some point,
Something we do.
LaFleur would just be like, okay, I'm taking over the offensive line for a little while to coach these guys. Let's just see what happens.
I would just have the offensive line coach sitting down watching Jim Harbaugh's teams.
Yeah.
That's pretty basic. The Chargers offensive line, we'll talk about this too. I mean, Chargers offensive line has been blown up, and they're doing just fine. So
Yeah, it's funny that Minter has the best defense in the NFL, huh?
yeah,
Must be from stealing all them signs, eh?
yeah. So a couple things I do need to get off my chest. One, enough of this Malik Willis bullshit. Because if it continues, we're going to lose a really great backup. Because the front office is going to trade him. That's what's going to happen. If there continues to be questions about Malik Willis or Jordan Love is a $255 million quarterback. Malik Willis was a 5th round trade pick, right?
Well,
Like there really isn't a question here.
I think the question really comes down to this: is when your quarterback is limping off and you have a 100% healthy backup quarterback and you're losing by 20 points, and you, realistically, with the way
That's different.
with the
Yes.
way the weather was, I just wanted to see it so that Love wouldn't get hurt more than it was. Why are you putting him back in where you're down by
No.
21?
That's a
That was my
different story. I'm talking about the fans trying to compare passer
for fuck's
rating
sake,
and all that baloney.
I can't even like spit in that direction. I do not understand that one iota.
I've been 15 feet upwind
Of the shitstorm.
from an individual on a roof, 25-mile-an-hour breeze. So in this scenario, the wind was coming from that gentleman
Smell the shit.
towards me. I farted and he smelled it through that wind. Okay, so I can cut some fucking cheese. All right. That's all I was getting at by that.
It smells like a whole load of shit.
Like a whole load of shit. That's all it is. We have a great backup situation. And I believe because we have a great backup situation, yes, 100%. But when you have a young quarterback, because we have a young quarterback. This is fucking like
Their quarterback room might be the youngest in the NFL.
we have a very young team still, and we have a very competent coaching staff, and it keeps getting better. We are getting so much better than week one. There's a handful of things we have to clean up. We know we can because we did it last week with the penalties.
Yeah.
I believe there was, because we're so young, excuse me, there was a hell of a lot of emotion on this game. And you add the emotion with the weather. It's frustrating as a fan because you just want the anomalies to stop, but just
Well, if
trust
you were-
our coaching staff.
The shitty thing is, if you're just sitting in the stadium listening to these guys as well, you can hear this crap come out of their mouths as well. These people that are at the game that are saying this crap, they're causing these, I almost call it a ruckus.
Yeah.
It's an issue. And chatter leads to disgruntled fans, leads to people
Yeah.
bitching, leads to complaining,
like-
leads to complaints.
Losing to the Lions sucks, yeah. But
Yeah.
we're 6-3 coming in the bye week. We go to see a drowning Chicago team that should be in our favor. We've got basically a 2-week clock. We played Sunday afternoon. We don't play again until the very next Sunday afternoon. So
Yeah.
that's a full 2 weeks. We didn't get boned on a Thursday game. We didn't get extended on a Monday night, but we go to Chicago and then come home for 2. Right? And 49ers at home, and the 49ers haven't been a great team. They are getting healthier. Christian McCaffrey is on slate to play this upcoming Sunday. We'll see what happens with that. But they're still without multiple wide receivers.
Yeah,
some
it's not the same team.
No, it's definitely not the same team. And we've got to get right. And I hate to call it a get right game. We're 6-3. We're 6-3.
Call it a get right game.
Favorable game coming up against the Bears. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Against the Bears, and then home against the 49ers.
Thanksgiving meal prep game.
Yep. And then, of course, we've got home against Miami, and that's a Monday night game, right? We've got a really good stretch for what's coming up. I feel like it's not the gauntlet it could have been. And I believe we will be favored in, if not all three, 2 of the 3 of these games.
Definitely the at-home game.
Again, this next 3-game stretch, worst case scenario, we're 8-4. We find 3 more wins in the next 5. We're right where we thought we should be. It's just we've got a sour taste going into the bye week. Maybe that's our punishment for being able to enjoy playoff football again this year.
Correct. I agree.
I think 5-4 is a worst case scenario.
It's going to depend on health.
I think it's going to be health and decision making.
Yeah.
But these are all things that I believe come into fruition as time moves forward. Indubitably, because we've seen it before.
I would like to see Jair play the rest of the season once he comes back.
Would it have been nice to have Jair here tonight? But with his injury, the weather conditions, the field, and an upcoming bye week, I'd rather have him for our stretch into the playoffs. It was upsetting not having Jair. But when you talk about it out loud and you think about it, this game meant more to the fans and the media than it did to those in the locker room. And I don't mean that this game didn't matter to them, But
It mattered. They made it very well known after the game, flipping the birds and chanting, chatting with the fans. Yeah,
here's the thing, Green Bay. If you don't like it, you
Beat
should
'em.
have stopped it.
Yeah,
Bottom fucking line. I didn't like it. There's people I'm hiding from right now. Only because, and hear me out, because I don't want to be able to feel later on like I can do whatever the fuck I want. I've been a very kind Packer fan for decades, and I would like to remain a very kind Packer fan for the rest of my life. But it's becoming very hard when
they get this little taste of success, and it goes right to their head.
so
Fucking wine drunk off of the couple victories here.
a couple regular season wins. It's fantastic. And you're doing really great. But it did blow my mind to find out that Dan Campbell is just now over 500 in his win-loss category. So, yeah, they've suffered a lot. Good job for them. Yeah, so we have the Bears coming up. I believe we'll do a bye-week episode next week. Injury reports, anything specific we hear from Lambeau Field. It won't be anything too crazy, but
Nothing too crazy. Maybe some updates on Jair and a couple other guys, Wilson there, and
keeps our ears to the ground and our eyes to the sky for things that fly. That's what we're looking for. There have been some fantastic plays this NFL season. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably live under a rock and you aren't listening to us.
I thought he was going to go all the way on that touchdown, that run. He had one guy to beat, and then the guy grabbed him by the arm when he put his arm out for the stiff arm, and I was like, "God damn it, your arm's too big." You gave him a log to grab a hold of there, buddy.
Yeah. No, that's something that's my focus to begin this season was the defense.
Stop the Green Bay was running the ball, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we just couldn't capitalize, and that's 20s to 20s. I'm no longer worried. I'm actually surprised when we don't make it past the 50-yard line, no matter where we start on the other side of the field.
And granted, one of Detroit's that game was their punter.
Yeah,
I think he had 260-yard
punter. Whelan, I'm probably going to get a jersey.
Whelan, Daniel.
Yeah, dude. I promise you, that dude is a dog. I hope I see him out one day so I can buy him dinner. I really do. That would be fantastic for me. But our red zone offense. This is something that we need to improve on.
It's average, maybe a little bit below average.
I would say mediocre at best. Yes. That's something we need to truly focus on.
Like you said, as a fan, you always want them to win. I tried to coax you into this. You brought it up. You said it's a pre-Thanksgiving game. We got to see what Detroit had, not at 100% full strength, but Green Bay was probably at less than full strength.
Major centerpiece of your team, which is the center.
That you had a probably 65% Jordan Love out there playing as well. I don't think he was much over 50.
No, the injury wasn't extended though, so it's very possible.
So the defense played fantastic outside of a couple plays, like you said, a couple fourth down plays.
A couple boneheaded plays they need to clean up.
Thing is the one that every week we keep bringing this up, and it's like, how can the false start things? How can that not be corrected? That's a mental thing.
At home. Maybe it's a Jordan's cadence thing.
I mean, it's possible, but you
got it
to the backup.
Yeah. I don't know. I give the boys all the credit in the world. They fought hard. You clean up the mistakes, and this is a 24-3 Green Bay win, and everyone is going, wait a minute. What the fuck? It's just, even the words I heard today, like, it's not about how Detroit won. Everything I've heard is, oh, Detroit can play outside. Oh, okay, I'll give you that.
We knew that this isn't the same Lions team as years past. It's built a little bit different. It's built to play indoors and outdoors. Let's be honest.
Okay, cool. You could play outdoors.
Yeah, exactly.
But you get paid a fuck a lot of money to be able to play outdoors. It's awesome.
You're right.
You're an NFL team.
Playground.
Cool. What you didn't do is score 50 fucking points. What you didn't do offensively is run all over the field and throw the ball all over the field. Oh, the weather. Green Bay didn't have a problem doing it. In fact, Green Bay could have had more had they held onto the fucking ball. Had over 400 yards of offense. The Green Bay destroyed that Detroit defense. Exactly like I said. They've got like almost the league's worst fucking pass defense. These are all things that are going to click and come back and bite these little kitties in the ass.
The only thing that I'd like to see from the defensive coordinator, he did blitz Goff, but Goff got to sit back there, like you said, in the pocket most of the time. And
Had to cut him up the middle. I don't like Green. Maybe we should be giving more credit to Detroit.
I believe that Goff and them knew the game plan. The game plan was, hey, guess what? Green Bay's coming. They're sending 5. I'll check it down for 4 or 5 yards. I'm not going to try to throw it. I believe the longest pass they threw was like 14 yards.
That was something I wish we did a little bit more of, was the intermediate plays.
Yeah, when the weather is that shitty, they had a way better game plan. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Which is something that pissed Matt off. And I'm glad. But again, this was something that kicked our fucking asses into gear last season. So I expect to do it again this season. Except we're in a much better boat than we were last season. We're 6-3 this season.
Know if this is something that LaFleur, it's been brought to my attention when I was watching the game, and actually Mandy brought it up. She goes, he's going to have to call timeout again. There was a Packer player running out the field. A late substitution by the offense, and LaFleur is like, he's looking at Love, and Love is just like, he does the thing with the timeout, and LaFleur has just got his hands like this. He's shaking his head. He's got the clipboard. This is the second time in 3 games I've seen this happen where they had to waste a timeout early in the first quarter or second quarter. Yeah, mental mistakes.
Yeah. Young team. And that's, I have to keep mentioning it to my dad. You might have to keep mentioning it to your sweet lady there.
Yeah.
We're a young team, and we're going to see young team mistakes. What we're looking for is the progression towards correction. We see progression towards correction. We saw it last game. You brought it up.
A timeout than a false start or a delay game.
Especially in that bad weather game, 5 yards is everything. Just like tonight with the Kansas City Tampa Bay game. They got bad weather too.
Is it raining? It's supposed to rain?
Sprinkling right now. We'll see what it turns into. How about Trey Henderson just destroying the Raiders? O-line. 11 successful pass rushes inside 2.5 seconds of the snap, dude.
I love my boy Mike, but I love my boy Mike, and I love him. I love Mike, our buddy, but holy shit, dude. Saquon is the only thing your team has.
I can't wait to bring that up.
Jalen Hurts has to thank his lucky stars.
How stupid are the fucking Giants, dude?
My God.
People want to talk about the Bills giving up a draft pick.
He had 260 all-purpose yards.
Yeah. How stupid are the Giants, man? Dumb. I'm so glad we're a Packer fan. Dude, I'm so glad I'm a Packer fan.
To give up a guy that literally was the next Adrian Peterson.
Well, there hasn't been an MVP other than a quarterback since AP. So I'm hoping we get voter fatigue and King.
The only 2 people as of right now that can knock out a quarterback are Saquon and Henry.
Yeah.
I think Saquon might have took the lead on that after this, but who knows?
And here's my question to you. Who's the best player in the NFC right now?
In the NFC?
Yeah.
Best player?
Yeah.
Probably Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Very cool. I'm so glad you said that. I was like, there's no way this podcast can say Jared Goff ever.
No, that was just because I wanted to hear the chants at the game. And by the way, that is the worst fucking chant I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's
they can't even get it started. It was Jared Goff, Jared Goff, Jared Goff.
Just
sounds
like
you guys have peanut butter stuck in the front of your fucking teeth.
Just like we're a young team, they're a young fan base learning how to enjoy regular season wins.
Learning how to talk, it's very difficult. Yeah.
Regular season wins are cool.
Yeah. In the AFC, honestly, it's between Lamar Jackson. It's probably between Lamar and Henry. The way Burrow's playing right now is absolutely ridiculous.
Josh Allen's playing great.
But Burrow have
Patrick Mahomes is playing pretty fucking good too. Oh, and that's something I'm going to bring up as well too. Josh Allen, Jordan Love comparison, right?
Oh, this is a comparison.
Josh Allen at the beginning of his career. Think about all the interceptions.
I'm just glad that
he's leading the league in interceptions. I'm glad
though that Love has an abused body like
Allen does. Yeah. We might just have the better version of Allen. That's what I'm saying. We're still young, man. I'm loving. We're in such a good situation with such a great coaching staff.
I guess we can do a little bit of breaking news before it comes out tomorrow. Apparently, Dak Prescott really fucked his hand up and his hamstring too, eh?
Oh yeah, no, he's out for several weeks. CeeDee Lamb is expected to play Sunday.
CeeDee Lamb is, as much as I don't like him, I'll give him 100% props. He is one tough fucker.
Yeah, dude.
I believe he dislocated his shoulder, and he wouldn't let the staff pop in because then he wouldn't be able to go back out and play. So he played with a dislocated shoulder, or sprained shoulder, or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah.
probably
Tough,
not the
bro.
smartest thing, but tough, stubborn
When
like a
you
mule.
listen, when you making millions,
You don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Especially because I got that insurance, bro. I can
I
do
guess
this for 10 years. If I get hurt tomorrow, I get this for my life.
it's true. Very true. Yeah.
Sorry, man. And it's happening at the best possible time. I just signed this contract. Fucking, I ain't even
Yeah.
got to work for that money.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did just sign that big deal. So did Dak.
That's what I mean.
Oh
You know,
man,
it couldn't happen at a better time.
Dallas couldn't be in a better position anyway.
You know, Dak Prescott's contract is a $90 million cap hit next year. They just signed his contract, bro.
So they literally.
Is this not the worst front office in the entire NFL? We'll have to talk about that tomorrow.
we got to break numbers down. That's insane.
$90 million next year. Just signed the fucking contract.
They better hope that FanDuel fucking gives them an extra 150 million.
Oh man, can I reiterate just momentarily how happy I am that I'm a Packer fan?
And not a Bears fan, not a Vikings fan, not a Lions fan, and
man.
definitely not a fucking Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh my god, or a Panthers fan.
Panthers fan. They did
Ben
win.
might be a Jaguar next year.
They did win though. They did come back and win that game.
Who?
The Carolina Panthers. They came back
Yeah.
and won that game.
Yeah, that's why Dennis Allen was fired today.
Hey man, shout out to I think is that his first ever win?
No, he got a win last year.
No, comeback win.
Oh yeah, come
I
back.
think it was his
yeah.
first come from behind victory or whatever. In his
Yeah, I
career.
know. I picked the Saints defense. They gave me 5 points. Denver got -3, so that was a smart play on my part. It's an 8-point swing right there.
Dude, I swear to God, I thought Denver's defense was way fucking better than that.
They are. Now, here's the thing, though. They have been playing some pretty terrible teams. Okay, and for the same thing, you know, the same thing could be said about the Lions' offense. Have been 2 points. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! All right,
It's starting to make me think that Dallas might be one of the worst defensive teams in the NFL.
they will be. Yeah. Hey, at least that coaching staff's getting paid.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out to a healthy bye week. And we're starting it early, but we're in beat the bear down mode. Sorry, PR. But we coming for Caleb.
All right, Dan. We coming.
We coming for Caleb. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think we're good. Can't wait till tomorrow. I got a list.
We've had way more happier Mondays than sad Mondays so far this season, and that's all we can ask for as a fan base. 6-3, going into our bye week. Things are looking good for the Green Bay Packers right now. So let's just keep that in mind. Let's keep happy. Let's keep our support going, and let's keep our players in our minds for health concerns. Let's get a healthy Green Bay Packers back for that Chicago Bears team. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to comment. What's your favorite parts of the show? Anything you like.
Yeah, give us a prediction of the Packer Bears score, just for the hell.
Yeah, hit us with some of the Packer Bears scores things. Listen, we love you guys so much. The world is definitely a much better place with you in it. We love you more.